Kobe, Matt, is Sargent deserving of a second season to prove himself, and how much pressure will he be under to perform?
I know there's a lot of people out there who will say that Sargent is not deserving of a second season, but I think just like I hate to use the other sports as an example, like the NFL with starting quarterbacks and all of that as a rookie, but I feel like in cases like that, in the same way with drivers, I feel like we try to rush them way too soon. Arguably, Logan Sargent, potentially could have used another year of Formula Two. I think that would have really helped prepare him to get onto the Formula One grid. But at the same time, you can't just throw someone in an F1 car like this and expect them to go out there and light the world on fire in their rookie year. And Alex Albon, I remember reading an interview that he did like several weeks ago, and he was saying when he got his first big shot to go into Formula One, he admitted that he wasn't ready for that. And now, after getting some time under his belt, Red Bull putting him on the sidelines, getting some time to reflect. Now Alex Albon has really come into his own as a driver. I know this business is a what have you done for me lately type of situation. So that's why there's so much pressure on these young drivers to go out and perform right away. But I think sometimes if you exercise patience and try to make sure your driver is in the best possible situation to develop, then potentially you can get rewarded later on down the road. But to answer the part of your second question there, Alex, yeah, Logan Sargent is going to be under a lot of pressure to perform. I think the driver who's going to be under the most pressure is obviously going to be Sergio Perez, given the horrible season that he's had, not being able to match Max Verstappen. I mean, if you look on paper, that's a really great season for Sergio Perez considering where he finished in the points, but not being able to match Max Verstappen and all the issues and mistakes that he made throughout the year. A lot of people are going to be saying that Sergio Perez, is going to be under fire next year, and if he slips up, you have Daniel Ricciardo there to potentially replace him if all goes wrong. Yeah, so I don't think Logan Sargent will be the driver who's under the most pressure, but I think it's definitely second best compared to Sergio Perez, and I do think that Logan Sargent is deserving of a second season. Although there might be other drivers you may think are more deserving to be on the grid, like a Liam Lawson or a Teo Porcher, who looks like he's going to be off to Super Formula in Japan next season. And before we move over to Matt, going to read some comments there in the chat room. Yeah, right here, Ben Snyder said that you're thrilled for Logan Sargent. You think he deserves a second year, but he has to perform. Emphasis on has to perform in 2024. Totally agree with that. Too many talented drivers and not enough grid spots. Exactly what I said with Liam Lawson and Teo Porcher, who should probably be on the Formula One grid next year or next couple of years. And he said also doesn't help that you have people like Oscar Piastri and Liam Lawson came right in as rookies and set the world on fire by comparison. Yeah, that's true. Sometimes you just have some of these super rookies out there, and other times it takes some rookies to truly develop before we see what they can really do. And I think we saw that with Alex Albon. He struggled at first and had some time away, came back, and look where he is now. Maybe you give Logan Sargent some time, and he can surprise a lot of people as well.
Yeah, you go back to Albon's promotion out of F2, where he was a race winner and a front runner, but he never really looked like he was going to come into Formula One and blow people away. Then he got promoted to the big team probably a little bit early, then ended up getting subbed off, put on the bench for a little while, and now he comes back at Williams and he's done tremendously well. Probably been one of the stars of the season for me, Alex Albon last year. But Logan did pretty well in that second sort of last quarter of the year and got those points on the board as well. So he had a bit of a dip in the summer. We talked about it on the show. What were they going to do with Logan? And they've given him a second chance. If it was me, and we know James Vale, and we're going to talk about people that have got connections with other teams and things in a moment, but James Vales has got connections with Mercedes. I would have liked to have seen Frederick Vesti come up. He's going to be the Mercedes reserve driver next season, and probably, if he goes back to Formula 2, has to be the championship favourite, being that he was runner-up this year. I would have liked to have seen Vesti come up and take that second Williams seat if I had the choice, but they've gone with Sargent. Of course, they've got lots more data and know how he works with the team and all that kind of thing from this season. So he'll be better. He's got a year of driving under his belt. And Williams have been on the up and up all season, so it trending in the right direction. Hopefully, a winter of confirmed seat and everything like that will give Sargeant a bit more confidence going into next season. You mentioned Liam Lawson; he looked like he might be getting that seat as well in the autumn, and that's not come to fruition. So, the first time in the history of Formula One next year that we'll have exactly the same driver lineup going into the season as it was the year before. So that's, as I say, never happened before. That's one tidbit for next year. And you mentioned Sergio Perez, Kobe. We'll watch that with interest. How long will Perez last next season if his form continues the way it has done over the back end of this, well, basically the last 3 quarters of 2023?